Hi friends, welcome to LaExcellence. Today's current affairs for beginners. So first of all, before going with the concepts or the today's topics, so let me explain you the so previous videos questions. The first question is Syria doesn't share border with. So these are the four options. So you can see the map here. So over here I have a Syria. This is what Syria. So the countries which are bordering with Syria, first you can come to know that. See, Iraq, Saudi Arabia is not a border with Syria. So exactly we can put the answer is what D, Saudi Arabia. So Jordan is bordering with Syria, and Israel is here Israel is also bordering with Syria. Lebanon is bordering with Syria, and the Turkey is also bordering with Syria. So Turkey is bordering with Syria. Iraq is bordering with Syria. The Lebanon, this one, is also sharing the border with Syria. So answer is, in the question, it has asked me like doesn't means Saudi Arabia is the answer for this question. Now come to the second question. Which of the following statements about the National Green Tribunal is or are correct? These are the options like it is a statutory body established under the Environment Protection Act 1986. See, this statement is wrong because NGT was established in the 2010 under NGT Act, National Green Tribunal Act 2010. So absolutely this statement is wrong. See, now you can come to the reverse engineering technique or reverse technique here. See, in every option, in three options A, B, D, there is a 1, and the question has asked that correct answer. Select the correct answer. So 1 is wrong means definitely without seeing back we can tick the answer as a C. So here C is the answer because statement 1 is wrong. The statement 2 and 3 are correct. So C is what? 2 and 3 only. No. So these are the three questions. So in the process we are providing daily three mains questions to you. So these are the three mains questions from the different decibels or from the different subjects like under GS1 geography first question, GS2 polity second question, GS3 economy third question. Try to answer these questions and upload the model answers in our website called CivilsPrep. There the students or your colleagues will review or will give a feedback, and we are also going to give a feedback to your model answers. Now come to the today's topics. The topics we are having here, four topics. These are like tsunami, it comes under GS1 geography. Second one, prompt corrective actions, PCA, under GS3 economy. So what is here surrogacy under SNT GS3. And fourth one, WTO, so World Trade Organization, under GS3 economy, so under concept called international organizations. So these are the four topics I'm going to explain you. So now come to the first topic. See, when you read this article, so 222 dead in Indonesia as a volcano triggers tsunami. So it's all about you have to know that what is tsunami here, what are the causes of tsunami, is there any difference between tidal waves or generally what we are seeing the waves in our ocean and tsunami waves. So is there any difference? Yes, there is a difference between tidal waves and tsunami waves because these two are different to each other. So we'll see these concepts. What is the mechanism or a process in tsunami? How it is reaching to that much height, like a 25 to 30 meters height, when it is coming towards the shore. So we'll see what are the causes again. Now, what is a tsunami here? So from where this word is originated? Tsunami means we can divide into two, su plus nami. Here su means harbor, nami means waves. So in Japan language, tsunami is a Japanese word. So in this language, su means harbor, nami means waves. So combinedly, tsunami means what? Harbor waves. Why it is called harbor waves? Because when it is coming towards the shore, firstly the affected region is what? Harbors, because harbors are somewhat built so somewhat like a far away from the continental crust, or somewhat, so these are built into the ocean. So that is why definitely these are the parts or regions should affect first with this particular tsunami. That is why it is called harbor waves. And this is what origin of the word called tsunami. Now, is there any difference between tsunami and tsunami waves and tidal waves? Yes, there is a difference. So tidal waves are usually what we are seeing so daily. So those are tidal waves due to the waves which are due to gravitational pull of the moon and sun. So these are due to gravitational pull of the moon and sun, whereas tsunami waves are not with this particular gravitational pull. So these are because of seismic activities. So these are called destructible seismic waves. So tsunami means what? Tsunami waves are seismic waves. Seismicity, so means it's due to what? Earthquake. So due to earthquake. Sometimes it is also the word like a seismic sea waves or seismic ocean waves or seismic destructive seismic waves, somewhat it may also misleading, because here seismic implies an earthquake related generation mechanism, but a tsunami can also be caused by non-seismic events like a landslide or hitting of a meteorite. So means meteorite impact also may cause tsunami. Those we can come to know in this section called causes of tsunami. Now come to the causes of tsunami. Tsunami is a series of large waves generated by an abrupt movement on the ocean floor. We know that can result from an earthquake and an underwater landslide. It may be by, right? So it may by like earthquake or an underwater landslide or a volcanic eruption. So or a very rarely or a large meteorite strike. We know that we have a meteorites. So these are the extraterrestrial objects. So it's like a not extra, so sorry for that. So here these are the terrestrial objects like asteroids, but these are very smaller chunks. The smaller chunks of in our solar system, the smaller chunks of rocky planets or rocky structures, when they are revolving around a sun in their orbits, so those are called meteorites. When these meteorites are there, when they are entering into the planet's orbit, not planet's atmosphere, for example if you take Earth, when these meteorites are entering into Earth's atmosphere, then these are called meteors. Meteors sometimes can be called as a shooting stars. When they come to the mesosphere, they are completely evaporated because of Earth's friction or a gravity. And the third one, so when these meteors or when they hit the ground, maximum they will evaporate in the mesosphere, but if there are some larger chunks of these meteorites still, so with the left of those particular chunks, they may hit the ground or earth, then those are called meteorites. So when they fall in the oceans, then so definitely it hits the what? The crust of the ocean or oceanic crust. Then it results what? the triggering of, or it results the movement of the large ocean water towards the continental crust area. So in the form of, we can call it's like a tsunami. So these are the causes of the tsunami. So we know that 4 causes like earthquake, an underwater landslide, or a volcanic eruption, or a meteorite strike. Now we'll see what is what like a mechanism or tsunami, why it is reaching the that much height when it comes towards the continental shelf or continental crust or a shore line. So see, so this is what, and this is what ocean bed. Now I'm dividing this particular, this is called continental crust and this is oceanic crust, and this is a border between this oceanic crust and this is continental crust. Now I want to divide these particular parts like, and this part is called continental shelf and this is called continental slope, and this part is called continental rise, because the oceanic crust is rising as a continental crust. That is why this part is called continental rise. And this is the real depth of the ocean. Real depth of the ocean, so can be considered as a continental slope. And this is called continental, the graded slope. And this is called deep slope. And this is graded slope. Means there is no depth of the ocean, means we can't witness the real depth of the ocean. So up to this part, and this is called continental shelf. Now for example, there is an earthquake over this region, means somewhere I have here continental, it's like a focus. Focus means what? The point where earthquake is originated. So this is focus, and the waves or seismic waves are so distributed so towards this continent oceanic crust. Now, and this is what like a affected region, and because of the huge energy released due to earthquake, and that energy will replace the water towards the other regions. Now these are the waves or water waves, they are coming towards the continental crust area. In this case, in the open ocean, we can't so get that much height of the waves, because here in the open ocean there are no obstructions, means simply they are flowing or they are moving towards the continental crust areas. So hardly 1 or 2 meters height we can witness in the open ocean. So of this particular earthquake or seismic waves or water waves, we can call it like directly as a tsunami waves. Now when they come to the continental shelf areas, see inside the water, so here the wave when it hits the continental shelf here, it's like a graded slope, then here the water will move up, means there is a winding of water over here, and the upper water wave again will hit here, and the lower wave will meet with the upper wave winding of waves. And see here, all the waves when they hit this particular graded slope or continental shelf, so completely there will be a chain like reaction or a chain like so all the winding up of the water waves will take place and results to what? Reaching the so greater heights, means there is an increasing of the water wave height because of what? Because of obstruction of the continental shelf or graded slope of the continental crust to these particular water waves. Because of this obstruction, the water wave will move up or upper regions, means there is a winding up of all water waves will take place over this particular region. And so now these waves will now, because of this particular reaching to height like a 30 meters height, and that 30 meters height so wave will rush towards the continental crust areas with a destructive results. And this is what called a process of tsunami. See, on the continental shelf here harbors. So harbors may be constructed. So means these are somewhat somewhat far away from this particular continental crust or developed region. So it is what harbor. So initially this harbor will be affected with this particular tsunami waves. That is why these are called harbor waves. And this is called a process of tsunami waves. Tsunami waves amplitude can be up to 200 kilometers. Amplitude in the sense here, it's like a wavelength. I can't say like amplitude here. The wavelength of the tsunami waves up to 200 kilometers from this particular point of origination of these particular tsunami waves. So with a speed 700 kmph. 700 kmph. And this is all about the tsunami. So in Indonesia recently we have witnessed the tsunami that is due to initially landslide. That landslide triggers the volcano and that volcano triggers the tsunami. So here the integrating factors like a landslide and volcanoes are triggered the tsunami in Indonesia. Now come to the second capital idea. So here the bank's recapitalization plan is per se not bad, but funds must be distributed prudently. So here when you read this particular article, you come to know that so there may be a difficult word or unknown word, like it's called prompt corrective action. You should know that what is here PCA or prompt corrective action. Right. So before going with the concept called prompt corrective action, so why this idea came up? See, banks sometimes they may face some financial crisis. Like for example, they may don't have adequacy capital ratios. Some means they may not have enough capital. So for lending the capital to the industrialists or to the public, and sometimes they may go for they are waiting for financial assistance. So during that particular period, when they don't have enough capital or when they are facing the financial crisis. So in order to restore this particular financial strength, so RBI has taken the idea. So RBI has, it came up with particular idea called prompt corrective action. Means the main objective of this particular prompt corrective action is to facilitate the banks to take corrective measures in order to restore their financial strength. So here the case study, there is a witness that in 1980s and in early 1990s there were a period of a great stress and a turmoil for banks and financial institutions all over the globe. For example, if you take in USA, more than 1600 commercial and savings banks insured by Federal Deposit Insurance Corporations were either closed or given financial assistance during this period. Means there was a financial assistance as given, means they were not enough with adequate capital. They were facing the capital or enough capital crisis. So to come out from that, in India, so RBI, to come out from those particular problems, in India RBI has taken up or came up with the PCA idea that is called prompt corrective action. So the ultimate role of this particular PCA is what? It is to facilitate the banks to take corrective measures in order to restore their financial health or strength. So means it is a measure to maintain the financial health of banks it involves like a monitoring of certain performance indicators, so as an early warning exercise. Now, what are the benefits of this particular prompt corrective action? So benefits like it serves as a safeguard tool if other enforcement actions are delayed, and it empowers state banking regulators to close critically undercapitalized banks and provide a roadmap for doing so. And there is the 90-day closure provision also there in a PCA. It facilitates an orderly resolution. So it ultimately, what we have said in these 3 points, ultimately it wants to what? It wants to take out the crisis of the enough capital in the commercial banks or savings banks or any public banks. So recently RBI has initiated a PCA against Bank of Maharashtra. So Bank of Maharashtra. And already we have IDBI, Indian Overseas Bank, UCO Bank, Dena Bank, and the Central Bank of India. So they are come under PCA. So that was initiated by RBI. So based on this particular framework, so currently there are total 16 public sector banks out of 21. So excluding SBI. So and 2 out of 16 private banks will require taking mandatory corrective actions or face restrictions to come out from the PCA framework. So these are some features about PCA or prompt corrective action. Now come to the article. So here, what is altruistic surrogacy? Now it's like important topic. So because there is still some controversy about using a surrogate mother to have a baby. So in future, so it's like a somewhat it comes under the topic called SNT, and we can take under culture or society. So if it is culture and society, it is GS1. If it is science and technology, it is GS3. Now here, so it's all about, you should come to know what is here exactly surrogacy. It is the legal process. So because it varies from state to state, even so, whether it is because of fertility problems or any other reasons. Why it is the case of surrogacy case come to existence? Because what? Because of fertility problems or some other reasons, surrogacy is an option for you and your partner. Now here, so what is surrogate mother here? Now there are 2 kinds of surrogate mothers here. There are traditional surrogate and there are gestational surrogate. So in a traditional surrogate, the process like, so I have a mother. So here the male sperm will be inseminating into eggs, mother eggs. So that means here the insemination of a male sperm with mother's egg. Then mother carries the embryo and will give a birth. So here the mother is called biological mother because here the egg that was fertilized by father's sperm and embryo is what? Completely so in the mother's womb. So here mother egg is so existed, means there is a genetically so mother egg is also like a participated over here because of that, and there is a so this mother here over here is called so biological mother. In other case, if mother's egg is not existed, then in that case we can call it like a birth mother. So there are 2, biological mother and birth mother, and this is the case for traditional surrogate. Means here it's a woman who gets artificially inseminated with the father's sperm. She then carries the baby and delivers it for you and your partner to raise. So a traditional surrogate is the baby's biological mother. That's because it was her egg that was fertilized by the father's sperm, or a donor sperm can also be used. And this is called a traditional surrogate. Now when you come to the gestational surrogates, so there is a reverse process, like the mother's eggs will be collected, and that collection of eggs will be inseminated with father's sperm artificially. So that is why this artificial creation of the embryo, so with the use of the collection of the mother's egg with the father's sperm, is called in vitro fertilization. It is also called in vitro fertilization. So here a technique called in vitro fertilization, it is now makes it possible to gather eggs from the mother, fertilize them with a sperm from the father, and place the embryo into the uterus of a gestational surrogate. So the surrogate then carries the baby until birth. She does not have any genetic ties to the child because it was not her egg that was used. So here artificially we have created an embryo, so with the collection of eggs. So collection of eggs here, so from a donor. So means here intended father, intended mother, and donor. See here donor is giving the egg, and that egg will be fertilized with intended father sperm, so artificially. So then there is a formation of embryo. That embryo will be put into the uterus of the mother. Here father sperm will be given and donor, so eggs will be, so these two father sperm and eggs eggs of the donor will be fertilized and to form like embryo. That embryo will be put into the uterus of the intended mother. So here the mother should not have any ties with this particular embryo. That is why here the mother is called birth mother. So in the case of traditional surrogacy or surrogate, so mother is called biological mother, and in case of in vitro fertilization or gestational surrogates, the mother is called birth mother. No. So here, is there any support, right? There should be a support, because surrogacy concerns two families instead of one, which requires both parties to come together and support each other. Open communication should be existed. Open communication and mutual respect are of utmost importance throughout the entire surrogacy process. Like a open communication, like calling, texting and emailing, or some suggested methods of contact. However, it really depends on the comfort levels between the surrogate and intended partners. So surrogate, here some women are like a surrogate women. Some women are comfortable with their intended partners, means like a comfortable in the sense here coming to the doctor checkups for the checkups and being present in the delivery room, while others means some other surrogates may not be responding well, means while others like not. So regardless, understanding and love will ensure that the child is brought into the world by caring and happy people. So here pregnancy not only changes a woman's body but her state of mind as well, and it can be difficult to adjust to life after birth. For surrogates, especially the period right after giving birth can be deeply emotional and take some time before truly settling back into a normal routine. However, no surrogate has to face these challenges alone. Because of that, so with the conceive abilities, previous surrogates come together to form to encourage the surrogates. So there should be An elite group of women for support groups, picnics can be arranged. So to have a communication, that love and that affection towards the intended partners or couples, and have a parties, fundraisers, and other events. If we conduct all these, we can change the mindset of a surrogate, and the surrogate may come out from the stress or some loneliness. So in this way, we can brought up a child into the world without means. Here the support is somewhat very mandate and very important step for the surrogate, is it's very required thing. Now come to the last article over here. So it's like a preparing agenda for WTO. So you should know about WTO. So WTO means World Trade Organization. So it is an intergovernmental organization that regulates international trade. It is important. The main objective is what? Regulating the international trade. So it is officially commenced on 1995. So under Marrakesh Agreement. Marrakesh Agreement signed by 124 nations in 1994. So it was replaced the GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, which was commenced on 1948. So from 1948 to 1994 there was a GATT. And this GATT is what? Replaced by WTO. So World Trade Organization in 1995. So this is about objective and history of the WTO. So the WTO deals with regulation of trade in goods, services and intellectual property also between participating countries by providing a framework for negotiating trade agreements and a dispute resolution process aimed at enforcing participants' adherence to WTO agreements. So under WTO agreements, so all the countries should be well regulated. So in terms of what? Trade in goods and services and intellectual property. If there are any disputes, that will be resoluted by this particular organization called WTO. So the WTO prohibits the discrimination between trading partners, but provides exceptions for environmental protection. So national security and other important goals. So means independently here. So ultimately it is what? It is for trade related disputes, to resolve the trade related disputes. So by independent judges. So at the WTO through a dispute resolution process. And this is about WTO, the basic idea and the basic concept, like a main objective and the history of the particular WTO. So main functions are over here are it oversees the implementation, administration and operation of the covered agreements. So what are the available agreements? So of these particular covered agreements, it oversees the what? Implementation, administration and operation. And also one more function is it provides a forum for negotiations and for settling disputes. So it always wants to see that there should be improvement of the trade. That is called implementation, administration and operation. And so we look on disputes, means trade related disputes also it will be. It is somewhat more responsible for our WTO. So through a dispute resolution process. So it's all about WTO. Now come to today's questions. Which of the following is or are the causes of tsunamis? So these are some options like earthquake, underwater landslide, volcanic eruptions, the meteorite strike. So these are the 4 options. So the first one, earthquake, underwater landslide, volcanic eruption, meteorite strike. So if you listen this video, so definitely you are able to answer this particular question. So we'll see the answer and explanation in the next video. Second question, consider the following statements with regards to prompt corrective action under RBI. So this one also has been discussed or late in this video. So try to answer these two. So with these two options, try to answer this question. So right guys, this is what YouTube channel, so where this video and material are available, and in this particular Telegram channel also you can get this same. So means please join into this channel, and then you can get this video and the material for this particular video in the form of handout. So you will get. So thank you guys.